And welcome courtside once again to the D3Hoops.com Classic, 6th annual here from the South Point Arena in Las Vegas. I am Dave McHugh, joined by Justin Sweeney as we get ready for our 4th game today, 10th game overall of 16 of the D3Hoops.com Classic. We're playing 6 today, and we're only in game 4, so we're trying to pace ourselves. And we're getting ready to switch gears from women's basketball to men's basketball, so get ready if you've been watching all day for some rule changes as we get ready for this one. We've got Ramapo versus St. Vincent. Ramapo coming off a, let's call it, shocking victory over Skidmore yesterday, and St. Vincent coming off a victory as well. We'll get to more of that in a minute, but let's get to starting lineups. We'll start with Ramapo, who will be in their road uniforms. Start off with senior forward 6'2" from Bridgeton, New Jersey, Frank Knock. Also at forward is 6'6" sophomore from Fanwood, New Jersey, Thomas Bonicum. 5'11" guard, sophomore from Fort Lee, New Jersey, Josh Ford. Also at guard, a sophomore, 6 foot from Matawan, New Jersey, James Long. And at forward, a 6'6" sophomore from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, Christopher Mosley. For the Bearcats, at guard, a 6'3" senior from Frostburg, Maryland, Pat Jones. Also at guard, a 6'2" senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, J.C. Howard. 5'11" senior from Okauchee, I believe, Florida, Jalen Bell. At forward, a 6'6" sophomore from Plum, Pennsylvania, Austin Dieter. And at forward, a 6'7" junior from Bluebell, Pennsylvania, Austin Ford. As we get ready to go in this one. Big tilt for these two teams. And we're glad you are joining us here for the game, Mr. Sweeney.
For those about to ball, I think that's the one they're playing over the loudspeakers right now. Ramapo running up and down the floor. Very high-flying, exciting, athletic game yesterday. And hopefully head coach Chuck McBreen has found a lozenge or two in between last night's game and today. He was giving his team all they could handle, but they really responded, I think. And it's just the beginning of this week for them, and they're looking for more today against St. Vincent. And it's becoming a long week for St. Vincent. Should be a good athletic matchup tonight as well.
If you don't mind taking a shameless personal moment, I am here in Vegas. My entire family back home is sick, very sick.
Oh, no.
Child and wife. They are sitting in front of the monitor watching this one, though, Justin. So give me a moment here to give a little wave to the kids. I'm babysitting for the next 2 hours.
Absolutely.
You could say, as we get ready to tip this one off. Andy, Molly, and Mommy, I love you dearly and hope you feel better soon. Bearcats and Roadrunners, and we're underway. Bearcats with the ball, wearing their home whites with green numbers, gold trim. Moving left to right across your monitor. Three-pointer in the corner. Oh, that's the way to start it off. Mr. Pat Jones. And we gave it to Ramapo on the scoreboard. It's off to a gorgeous start for us.
It's early. It's just early.
Ramapo's in their road maroon jersey, or black jerseys with maroon numbers and white trim, moving right to left. Drive into the lane, up and over, not able to get it to fall for Mr. James Long as he couldn't get it over Dieter. Passing in the corner, Mr. Ford. Why not? 2 for 2. He likes the corner, and Mr. Chuck McBreen would like to talk it over.
Same spot, same day, all within the course of the first 45 seconds of this ball game, and a picture-perfect start for St. Vincent.
Yeah, that's how they drew it up. Is that how they say it?
I don't know if it's how you drew it up, but as long as those shots are falling, you're absolutely going to take what you're getting.
Absolutely. So Mr. Ford starts the game on 2 straight threes, has a little bit of a drink and a little bit of smirk on his face as he comes out of the timeout. He likes that corner. I have a feeling Ramapo may adjust its defense accordingly as Chuck McBreen quickly uses the timeout he's got in his pocket, 6 of them here. What is that? 41 seconds into the half.
Well, Pat Jones enters the weekend shooting 35% from the three-point range and already obviously exceeding those averages.
Just a
Save some for later, perhaps.
Maybe. So Ramapo will get its second offensive possession. Coach DP Harris for St. Vincent, by the way, taking very casual. He's got slacks on and then an athletic T-shirt.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he is. He is. Graduate of St. Vincent and a Hall of Famer of 2014. Did not graduate in 14. We don't know exactly when he graduated. I can't find it anywhere. And I don't dare ask him. Missed shot from Ramapo. Another Bearcat turnover. Ford goes into the corner. Let's see if they find him this time. Defense is there, but sagging. They get it into the post. Now a traveling violation is going to get called on Ford as he got harassed by 3 Roadrunners and shuffled his feet during the harassment.
You marvel at the size as well for St. Vincent. A lot of big guys like Austin Dietert, the 6'6" forward. He can play inside out, meander on the wings when he chooses to do so. Austin Ford, the 6'7" junior. And then you have all these athletic wings you also have to take into account.
Bounce pass inside to Knock. Knock cannot handle it, and they go the other direction. Up the court to Howard. Howard's got possession, man-to-man defense. Nice inside pass, finds Ford for the basket, and it's 2 more points for St. Vincent, who's out to an 8-0 lead. Quickly up ahead for Ramapo. Shot by Ford is no good. He gets hammered in the process. He'll go to the line here to finally get Ramapo hopefully off the schneid. The foul is going to be against Dieter.
And I like Ramapo, even though St. Vincent has opened up this game like gangbusters, not being deterred by what's happening in the flow, even though the defensive breakdown happens on the other end of the floor. They are not deterred. Josh Ford gets the ball in the open floor and gets to the hoop as soon as he can, trying to make the next action happen, getting to the next scene.
1 point for Ramapo as the free throw is good for Josh Ford, a 74% free throw shooter coming into the weekend. Just misses the second one. This is, of course, St. Vincent's second game of the tournament of 3. They will play one more tomorrow. They played Mary Hardin Baylor 2 days ago and beat them. It was in a crazy, weird game. Led by 22 late in the first half. Mary Hardin Baylor finally got off the bus and woke up in the second half, drew it to within 1, but eventually Bearcats would win.
Pat Jones continues to look for his shot. Wouldn't fall that time after knocking down those 2 opening 3-point salvos.
Into the corner, Ford, 4-3. Buries it, and Ford has been answered. Jones has been answered by Ford. Ford with 4 points, Jones with 6, and it's an 8-4 lead now for the Bearcats. And a little too much harassment there by Ford, who will pick up a hand check foul coming up the baseline, or coming up the sideline, I should say.
If you're in the automobile business, you're going to like this game. There's an Austin Ford on the St. Vincent side, and then you have to take account of the guard Josh Ford, who plays for Ramapo, who we see on the floor at the moment.
We might just see Ford v. Ford at one point out there. Pass into the corner, into the hands of Bell. Bell kicks out to the near wing. Thought about a shot was Howard. He passes it back to Ford. Ford from the other wing doesn't get it to fall. Here come the Ramapo Roadrunners the other direction. That's Knock with the ball against Ford. Knock trying to get something to happen, dumps it off to Mosley. Mosley will drive in and gets his pocket pick, but gets the ball back. Oh, there's a 3-pointer just short, though, for Ford. And the rebound finally hauled in by Howard. And here comes Jones the other direction. Jones picks up his dribble, in trouble, but finally gets the ball to Dieter, and he'll get it off to Bell, who will reset the offense.
This really feels like the first time we've seen a half-court set, any sort of settling down of offenses tonight, but not before Ramapo can respond.
Up ahead, Ramapo can't get it to fall, can't get the second shot to fall. And the Bearcats once again come up with a rebound on the defensive end. Hey, New Jersey fans, you might be Eagles fans.
I can't find Gordon Mann. He's already celebrating.
Chip Kelly's been released. So if you are a Ramapo fan who's also an Eagles fan, Chip Kelly's no longer your head coach.
If any of those are left.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Bearcats wholesale changes. Get ready for this one, folks. Let's go through it. About checking into the game, 6'6" senior Bobby Swartout. Also checking into the game, 6'2" freshman guard Mike Simmons. I believe I saw number 21, Matt D'Amico, the 6'3" sophomore guard. And there's somebody else out there. There he is, 6'2" senior guard, Dan Sinwell. Into the game for the Bearcats. I'm a little excited only because I'm trying to keep my energy up here. Got 6 games today.
I am feeling it.
8-4, St. Vincent the lead and the ball. 15:46 left to go. Ball's just bounces to the side of the sideline, staying in bounds for the Bearcats. Shot clock down to 5 as driving in was Sinwell. He's going to get bailed out with a blocking call called on Ramapo. And a correction, that was D'Amico who drove.
Pretty late foul, but it was deep where it occurred. We see those semicircles in front of the hoop, and to the line comes St. Vincent, who is trying to get back their early offensive rhythm after Ramapo has scored the last 4 unanswered.
Believe that went on Bonnicum, his first, team's second. Only had 3 fouls in this game total so far in the first 4.5 minutes. As the first free throw by D'Amico is no good. He came into the weekend 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Second one up, and this one rattles home, giving St. Vincent a 5-point lead.
And if I'm Chuck McBreen, I'm wondering, trying to devise a way, how do I get Thomas Bonnicum going in this one? Amazing game yesterday against Skidmore, 23 points, 6 dimes, 7 boards. Can he replicate that performance tonight?
Into the corner, back up top. Ford drives. Correction, that was long. Skip over to Ford now. Try to go to Knock, a little too early. Swartout had it covered, Knock wasn't in position. Swartout gets the steal. The other direction, into the hands of Sinwell. Into the corner, now onto the baseline to Swartout on the post. Will back his man in. Spin, kick out, shot on the way, no good. And the rebound by Ramapo. Sinwell couldn't get that one to fall from the far side. Quickly up ahead come the Roadrunners, no surprise there. Three-pointer on the way, nothing but the net for Bonnicum.
And there he is, his first significant touch of the game, had a good look in rhythm, and here comes Ramapo, outscoring St. Vincent 7-2, 7-1 make it, after that opening barrage of threes.
Long wanted a backcourt violation. Remember, you got to get the ball and both feet over the timeline before that can be called, and it wasn't there, and the shot by Howard falls immediately afterward, and it's an 11-7 lead for the Bearcats. Knox with the ball. Now he's to Long, and he'll throw it into the corner and back up top. Long, 4-3. Good. Draws the Roadrunners to within 1. Took on that Bearcat barrage to start and have answered with 10 points of their own. 10-3 run to draw within 1. Swart out with the ball. He'll skip it near side to Simmons. Simmons has to keep it from going out of bounds. So does Sinwell, who then gets it back to Simmons. 7 on the shot clock in the corner. Tried to bounce pass it to Swart out, but kicked out of bounds by the Roadrunners. If it's a true kick out of bounds, it'll reset the shot clock to 15, and it does reset to 15. Back into the game for the Bearcats comes Jones. We'll see Ben Klimchuk for the first time, 5'9" senior guard from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Bell is back into the game as well for the Bearcats. Whoa, long out-of-bounds pass. Nearly tipped it out of bounds.
Athleticism is not in short supply in this game so far.
No, lots of skying here. Bell drives in, swatted there by Knock. Knock comes up with a loose rebound. Coming the other direction. Quickly up to Ford. Ford loses it on the way up. You could pick a Bearcat. Probably got a hand on that. Quickly up ahead to Klimchuk, who goes for the three-pointer, no good. Knock hauls in the rebound. Whew, these two teams not afraid to go up and down the court.
Well, Frank Knox been a very busy man both tonight early in this one and the victory yesterday against Skidmore. Logged 30 minutes in the 90-76 victory, 9 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. But even with those varied statistics, doesn't fully paint the picture of how heavily he was involved in the offensive attack, particularly in the second half against Skidmore.
Both these teams like to go up and down the court, but both these teams only score about mid-70s and allow mid-70s. In terms, well, for St. Vincent, they only allow 70.5 points a game coming into this one.
You see Knock right now, the facilitator, setting up guys, and in the end, taking care of the business himself.
And Ramapo has its first lead of the game at the 12:50 mark, thanks to a beautiful little baby hook by Knock in the paint.
And the Ramapo run is now 12-3 since that opening 8-0 start by St. Vincent.
Great defense here by Hay, who they just picked up at midseason, transferred in, had an awesome game yesterday, because he was a bit of a horse in that, and a timeout called here by D.P. Harris and the Bearcats. It'll be a 30-second timeout. But Hay had an awesome game yesterday, and he's now into the game for the first time today.
Leading scorer off the bench yesterday, 16 points, 7 for 12 from the field, about as efficiently as you can ask for. Also tallied 3 boards in that effort.
Again, the Bearcats coming into the weekend averaging 73.7 points a game and holding their opponents to 70.6 points a game, a difference of 3.1. Ramapo coming in averaging 74.4 points a game, giving up 75.4, so they're being outscored by a point a game. The Roadrunners 7-4 on the season. Bearcats 6-2 entering today's game. The NJAC, where Ramapo's coming out of, crazy season with the William Patterson forfeit against these Roadrunners, which certainly helped Ramapo without having to play a minute of a game. Klimchuk, long two, short, ball's loose, goes out of bounds, will stay Bearcat possession. Stockton not playing as well as everybody expected. New Jersey City has come out of the fog, looks really good, but they just lost double overtime today to Buffalo State. So a little bit of craziness, which we've come to expect in the
As the inject turns, as they say.
You're absolutely right. Klimchak gets the ball on the inbound, and they'll swing it around. Bell now with it, being guarded by Hay. Bell will drive in, kick out Klimchak. Threatened to three, kick out to Bell. Bell threatened it, now steps up to the elbow. Shot off back iron, no good. Ball is loose, picked up by Zones. And a foul called on the drive.
Zones, another newcomer to take note of for Ramapo.
Yep, another one that they picked up during the semester break. They also picked up Pascale Durillas. We'll see him a little bit later. We saw him in yesterday's game. Nice little feed inside to Bonnicum, who could not get it to fall, but he gets the loose ball rebound. Ball's, they're going to call it travel. Bonnicum's going to argue someone hit it, and so will Coach McBreen, but none of the officials saw it that way.
Well, I think someone got their hand either on the hand of Bonnicum, if not the basketball, so some sort of sharing or touching, if not a deflection, occurred in that play. So certainly a well-thought-out argument. I don't know what the verdict would be in the end, though.
Worst case, jump ball usually in those scenarios. Bell with the ball, brings it up. Ramapo leads 12-11 after trailing 8-0 early in this one, and Klimchak answers, and St. Vincent retakes the lead with a three-pointer from him, 14-12.
Well, stylistically in this one, I've seen a sharp contrast so far. Ramapo having a lot more success with the ball in the open floor. St. Vincent has been saddled to having to make them pay from three-point range against Ramapo's half-court defense.
Bell with a drive will come up, but a foul before the shot. It's probably a good thing because camped in the lane waiting for Bell to arrive was Noah Basket. Noah did not get in.
That was also the call on the play, no basket.
Oh, well done, sir. Wow, that was outstanding, actually. Trying to inbound it here, the Bearcats. They finally get into D-Dirt and back to Klimchak. They'll set up the offense. Ramapo playing man. They'll throw a little zone every once in a while as well. 11:06 left to go, 20 on the shot clock. The bounce pass gets to Ford. Correction, wrong gentleman. He gets it into, no, it was Ford. Austin Ford, I apologize. And he gets called for a double dribble.
And offensively, not a whole lot of action happening inside the arc for St. Vincent. They've hit 5 field goals in this game. 3 of those have come from outdoors where they're shooting 3 of 7, just 5 for 14 overall.
I think a couple guys came in, so let's reset you here. We have Basket with the ball. Also out there is Nick Stanek now. He's joined on the floor by Josh Ford. I believe that is Sones with in the corner. And we also have number 12, Bearbrun, who's into the game for the first time. Basket gets his pocket picked. Klimchuk comes up the court, gets absolutely hammered, but misses the shot. The foul is going to be on Bearbrun. St. Simeon Bearbrun, the 6'5 freshman forward from Irvington, New Jersey. Did not play yesterday, but picks up his first foul here. Remains 14-12. Bearcats the lead, getting a chance to get some points maybe here at the line as Klimchak shoots the first free throw. Back iron, no good for the man who came into the weekend 6 for 11 from the free throw line.
Such a deep roster, so many options for Chuck McBreen to draw upon. As you see that bench over there, and every inch is covered up by Ramapo players. Deep roster all of a sudden. Chuck McBreen, well-ingrained veteran of the New Jersey Athletic Conference in the midst of his 18th season.
Point out, we keep saying weekend. In our minds, it's so hard. You're playing a tournament. Usually it's on a weekend.
This feels like every day is a Saturday right now.
Yeah, it really does. Actually texted my wife, said, I'll be home on Saturday. She said, what? I'm like, I'm sorry, it's Thursday. She got a little worried that I was going to spend a few extra days in Vegas or something. Bounce pass into the baseline. Reverse layup is good for Stanek. And Ramapo cuts the deficit to 1.
Probably a healthy, substantiated fear for a wife and mother of 2 at home, far away to have.
And sick? Absolutely. I know. Yeah, it's just me not having, the idea of what day it really was on the calendar. Far side. Swartout with the ball.
And look at the attention that Swartout's commanding.
Seriously.
Way outside, nearly drawing 3 defenders at that time. Swartout content to normally live near the post. That time he was stuck sort of in his personal no man's land.
I was going to say, I think Ramapo knew he was in no man's land for them, and they knew they could get out there and cause some havoc because the last thing he wants to do is start dribbling out there. 15-14, Ramapo trails but has the ball. Bearcats in a 2-3 zone. Into the corner on the baseline. That's Ford. He'll drive. He'll go reverse layup and misses everything. Swartout picks up the rebound. Here come the Bearcats the other direction. They'll let J.C. Howard start the offense here and get it into the hands of Bell. 20 on the shot clock. He's being closely guarded by James Long. Of course, there is no closely guarded 5-second call anymore as long as there's a dribble. Bell, long 2, foot on the line shot, extends the lead to 3.
Well, statistically, that might change things up with the story, but I still think the narrative remains St. Vincent being limited to nothing but really long-range shots.
Yeah. As Bell hauls in the rebound off of an air ball miss for Ramapo. 17-14, St. Vincent the lead. Bell for 3. No good.
And he's only a 24% shooter. Interested that he made the 2-pointer with his foot on the line, but can't hit the 3-pointer, just one step behind that.
Sones for 3, misses it. And
Pat Jones,
who started the game on fire with 2 3-pointers to get out to a 6-0 lead, hauls in the rebound.
Pat Jones, well familiar with the St. Vincent's program.
Long 2 from Jones is good. Yes, he is. His father, an alum of this program. Of course, this program's only been in Division III now in its 10th season.
And Jones is an All-President's Athletics Conference second-team selection back in 2015.
Swinging it around does Ramapo, 15 on the shot clock. It's in the hands of Ford. Now Long will try and do something with it. In trouble, picking up his dribble, somehow finds Stanek. Nice up and over, and then absolutely rejected by Swartout.
Well, good job by Nick Stanek to keep his foot down. I think a less experienced ref in that situation might have been compelled or tempted to call for the travel as he looked to inch up but kept his right foot down and then went to work, but no avail at the end. However, Ramapo with the mulligan.
5 seconds on the shot clock here for Ramapo as he inbounded to Long. Doesn't seem like he recognized the clock. Now he does. Puts up the 8-footer. No good. And Ford I keep calling him Ford. It's Jones who comes down with the rebound.
13 Fords playing the game.
It feels that way. Oh, from behind. Bell's effort is blocked and blocked again. Knock picks up the rebound. Here come the Roadrunners. Unsettled situation. He feeds Ford, who finishes.
There's Frank Knock once again in the middle of the action as Josh Ford is down.
Yeah, Josh Ford came down awkwardly, and he's looking like he's looking at his elbow or forearm maybe. Athletic training staff on staff here for South Point in vicinity, but Ford will make his way off the court, or up the court, I should say, on his own. So quick substitutions. Klimchuk checks back in for the Bearcats, as does Austin Ford. So hopefully Josh Ford's okay. May just hit his funny bone. 7:33 left to go here. Ramapo showing a little bit of a token 1-2-2. But they inadvertently, or I would assume, Howard picked up the ball in the backcourt. Wasn't pressured to do so. 15 on the shot clock, 7:18 left to go in the first half. Swartout for 3, buries it. 6-point lead for St. Vincent. Swartout 3 for 7 coming into the tournament. This is their second game. I don't remember if he hit a 3 against
It took
Mary
just
Hardin
2 3-point attempts yesterday against Mary Hardin Baylor. Went 0 for 2 from deep.
Nice feed inside. Knock gets the basket off the feed from Bonnicum.
Knock remains busy in this game for Ramapo. He's having a good year so far. The 6'2 senior, one of 3 captains on this Ramapo team, notched his 1,000th career point about 2.5 weeks ago. So a big year for Frank Knock, and his senior campaign continues.
This is a game of East Coast teams, so I hope you're enjoying your dinner. If not, maybe your dessert. Game time is about that time for you. There's a foul called on Swartout's drive. Coach D.P. Harris wants to talk to his team when Swartout goes to the line here. Not sure who it went on. It was his first, is all I can tell you. I missed who it was. Swartout will go to the line here, though. He's a 62% free throw shooter entering the tournament. Hits the first one to extend the lead to 5. Substitution for Ramapo checking in will be Mosley again, and he'll take out Ford. So going with a little size here as Mosley checks in at 6'6", and they remove Josh Ford at probably a generous 5'11". Swartout's second free throw, front iron, no good. So we'll remain at 18 points for the Roadrunners. Correction. for St. Vincent will remain at 23 points.
Sorry, I got momentarily distracted by my phone. You know you're from Oregon when you get 7 different texts, all with the word Chip Kelly in them.
Yeah, that's true. Did you see the news? 6:12 left to go here. Swartout gets the feed inside. Up, no good. Tries to tip it in, no good. Gets the rebound again, goes up. This time he's fouled by Mosley, who also blocked it.
Great effort for Bobby Swartout. Went up, a third chance opportunity. He would have been madly disappointed if he came away with nothing on that possession, but he'll have to try and make ends meet at the foul line here.
Mosley, who leads the team at 2 blocks a game, picks up his first foul. Swartout will go to the line again. He was 1 for 2 just there, and he leaves this one short. Checking into the game for the Bearcats will be number 4, Pat Jones. He'll give number 5, J.C. Howard, a break. There's one more sub coming, but it's for Swartout. So Swartout's going to have to hit this free throw if he's going to take a seat. Decisions. He hits it, and he'll take a seat. Coming back into the game will be Austin Dieter.
That was probably the most economical choice.
Yeah, probably smart.
Why have a 5-point lead when you can have a 6-point lead?
Yes, it makes more sense. 3-2 zone for the Bearcats. Ramapo had a little trouble with the 1-3-1 that Mary Hardin Baylor threw at him. I don't know if the Bearcats have that zone in their repertoire or not. Nice feed inside to Mosley. Quick move to the basket and gets it to score. If you could give an assist, and I'm not sure they would, it would go to James Long on that one. But Mosley kind of created his shot by driving the basket.
Well, there weren't a whole lot of seams, but Mosley quickly and adeptly found the only seam in that breakdown.
Speaking of finding seams, nicely done breaking the press there. And wow.
Watch out.
Dieter didn't like the attention Knock gave him on the block.
Yeah, he came up a little high with the arm to the face, and there was a lot of elbow arm to face action.
Yeah, Knock didn't seem to have any reaction to the foul. Dieter did, but we'll keep an eye on that for later.
Welcome to the in-jack.
Yeah, exactly. Dieter misses the free throw. He's the team's best free throw shooter at 86%, but he just missed that one. 24-20, the lead for St. Vincent. And they're leaving points at the line. Misses that one. Barely caught iron. Knock brings it up the floor. Knock crossover. Nice feed to. Gets it to fall for Bonnicum. 2 points going to the line.
Well, that was a gorgeous setup by Frank Knock, and with him barreling down the floor with a full head of steam and seeing Pat Jones try to figure out what's he going to do and how am I going to stop him. Well, he didn't really have to stop him because he created all of that, all of the swarming into him, and then a great feed on the opposite side block. Frank Knock once again anchoring down all of the Ramapo action in this game.
Knock I would describe him as like maybe a stocky running back, maybe a linebacker, a tight end type body at 6'2" frame. And a steal by Bonnicum on the press. Up ahead to Mosley, who slams it home.
Well, Knock, he almost looks like a guy who should be about 5 miles up the road at MGM Grand, Buster Douglas 2.0 with basketball skill.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I see that look, yeah. Of course, you wonder if the NJAC football teams wouldn't mind seeing him. Swartout. Sorry, just got a score about Buffalo State, New Jersey City. Ironically enough, I was talking to the head coach at Ramapo who already knew about that result, knew about the whole game, which was even stranger. I was wondering what he was doing today. Apparently he's watching New Jersey City. Ramapo doesn't get it to convert on the other end, comes down the court to the Bearcats, who now trail by 1. 4:33 left. Traveling violation is going to get called on St. Vincent, and Ramapo will get the ball back. Checking into the game, J.C. Howard, and he'll give Ben Klimchak a break. Hope you're enjoying this game. 4:33 left. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Justin Sweeney. As St. Vincent gets the steal on the press as Salomon Pierre is into the game for Ramapo. A timeout called by the Bearcats here. We missed Salomon Pierre coming into the game. 6'3" freshman forward from East Orange, New Jersey. Did not play yesterday, but picks up a game today. I think Chuck McBreen, with all his new players, is trying to figure out what he's got.
I think he's still on the process where he's trying to remember each and every one of them, their first names.
It's got to be tough for him when it comes to the NCAA tournament. He's only allowed to select 12 to put on.
Didn't they just have their orientation dinner on Monday?
I believe they might have. I forgot to ask Chuck McBreen what his plans are. This is his 5th tournament in 6 years, and he always has some grand plans. Some show he wants to catch, some dinner he wants to go to. I meant to ask him what those plans were this year.
Please indulge us, Coach.
I will try and find out. Unfortunately, it won't be for game time most likely, but we'll certainly try and find out for just general information. Chuck McBreen. And by the way, already committed to next year, Ramapo, shockingly enough.
That's fantastic.
Shockingly enough. It's not, we're starting to call this the Chuck McBreen Invitational.
The D3Hoops.com Classic at South Point Arena brought to you by Chuck McBreen.
Yes. We might start calling the coaching segments brought to you by Chuck McBreen as well. Might as well have him start doing the interviews because he sees about as many teams as we do.
Will earplugs be provided?
No, he's actually rather quiet
or
when not involved in the game.
Or in Pat Coleman's case, perhaps a lozenge or two.
Lozenge, yeah. I told him not to yell today when I was talking to him before the game. He said, I don't have a voice left. I said,
man.
Obviously.
We're all in a good place.
Bearcats with the ball, but trailing. Bell's in a lot of trouble. Big double team, trying to get out of it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Able to find a teammate, gets it to fall, does Austin Ford, and St. Vincent retakes the lead, 26-25.
Just an MVP play by Bell there. Looked like he was in trouble, but he remained patient and steadfast, kept the dribble going, and created something wonderful in the end.
Tight-roped the midcourt line while doing that as well. Mosley's got the ball near side, kicks it to Knock. Knock goes up, gets it to fall. Ramapo retakes the lead, 27-26.
His teammates have to call him Frank the Tank, right? That was just a powerful rise and finish.
I'm afraid of what his teammates might call him or what he allows them to call him. Ford's that was Jones with the ball in the corner. Now he gets it up top to Bell. 15 on the shot clock, 3:30 left to go here in the first half. Sword out now will back down Bonnicum. Puts up the shot. Bonnicum doesn't give him much resistance. St. Vincent retakes the lead, 28-27. We've had about 6 or 7 lead changes in this one so far. Skip pass near side. Mosley with the ball. Bonnicum for the jumper on the baseline, no good. Rebound hauled down by Howard.
That was a necessary last play by Swartout to try and open up that inside-outside game. Obviously, St. Vincent is capable of scoring outside as they've displayed in this night. But if you can look to establish that threat, and again, more inside action.
Great feed. Jones was outside deep. They worried about a three-point attempt, so they swarmed him. Swartout was open, and he one-hand passed it down there to get Swartout the easy basket. Knock fakes it look, gets it back to Mosley. He'll take the very long two, gets that to fall.
Gorgeous stroke.
That was actually very pretty, wasn't it? 30-29, St. Vincent in the lead, dealing with a Ramapo break. Now they'll break it, come up ahead. Slicing and dicing, can't get it to fall, does Howard. Ball ends up in Long's hand, back to Howard for three, and that's good.
St. Vincent remains consistent enough from three-point range in this one.
Yeah, that's the truth. 2:09 left to go, and St. Vincent expands its lead to 4. Long drives the lane, and they're going to get Swartout for the block. Unfortunately, Swartout wasn't going to get there in time to stop him, and then decided to turn a little too early to get in position for the rebound, and took out Long in the process.
St. Vincent continuing to handle control in this one, shooting 5 for 10 from three-point range. They're just 7 for 17 from other zones.
Long, who's only 2 for 4 from the free throw line entering the weekend, misses the first one. Checking into the game for the Ramapo Roadrunners is Beerbrun. He replaces Bonnicum. Beerbrun for Bonnicum. There you go. I love the names some of these teams have. Coming up with Whitworth, they got one of my favorites, and I'm sure if he's playing or not, but Kenny Love.
Northwest Conference Player of the Year last year in 2015, and that's just where the conversation begins. There's a lot of players to keep track of on that team. So much firepower inside and out.
Fortunately, that's Game 6. We're only in Game 4, so you're going to have to be patient. Nice feed up ahead. Breaking the press. Austin Ford converts back to a 5-point lead for St. Vincent. Hay is back out there for Ramapo. Let's keep an eye on what he may do. He exploded yesterday in basically his debut for Ramapo. Hay for 3. No good, too long. Bell picks up the rebound, has an unsettled situation. Let's see what he does with it. Crossover, spin move, hand check called on Josh Ford.
Yeah, that was a pretty unconstructive possession from beginning to end for Ramapo. It started by that Hay 3, which really went for naught. Directly careened off the board, and just like that, it was Jalen Bell who was off to the races. End result, 2 free throws. Or a 1-and-1 here more specifically.
Yep, more 1-and-1 here. Obviously, women's game it would be. There's 9 fouls on Ramapo, only 4 on St. Vincent. So Bell will go to the line here, the 1-and-1. 61% free throw shooter. First one, no good off the back iron. Rebound hauled in by Ramapo, and it's Knock with the effort. Up ahead to Ford. Ford from about 10, no good. Bounces back out to Ford, then to Knock. He'll actually shoot it for three, and it's good. I thought he'd settle it down there, and he decided to do the polar opposite with 80 seconds left.
Well, Knock almost waited till his defender got closer and drew in to close out on him, and he just thought, well, heck with it. I'll shoot it anyways.
Why exactly. I thought he was actually slowing down the pace. Foul, I think, is going to go on Mosley. That's his second foul. Mosley fouled out of yesterday's game.
Frank Knox, one of the more interesting, compelling players I've ever seen. He's 6'2", clearly a forward, but he handles a lot of the point guard duties in terms of running the offense, making the decisions, being the anchor, drawing in all of the action, and sometimes he can take over a game and put up 23, 25 points. Other nights, as we saw more customarily last night, he kind of does a little bit of everything.
Free throws are good. 37-33, St. Vincent the lead. You have a good take on Knock there, sir. Mosley for three is what I was trying to say. Missed the shot. 63 seconds left in a game that's been a little bit inconsistent in terms of pace. Certainly inconsistent in terms of scoring. Lots of streaks and then back and forth.
Yeah, but it was a lot of good equity between these teams. We've seen one team have some high spots, another team catch fire, but stylistically, they're making ends meet in different fashions.
And lots of lead changes. 45 seconds left. Sword out with the basket. Pretty much St. Vincent's biggest lead. Well, they got out to an 8-0 lead to start before Ramapo went on a 12-3 run to take the lead themselves.
And Bobby Swartout's picking out his spots. All of a sudden, he's in double-figure scoring on 4 very nice takes.
Missed basket there by Pierre. 22 seconds left. Shot clock is off, so Bell will bring it across the timeline. Man, Ramapo is keying on Bell, and I mean keying on him. Anytime he's got the ball, he's got a guy in his hip pocket with a second one coming somewhere. An illegal screen on Swartout. Good call.
Well, if you can pause the action against Bell, he's the guy who's going to be the ball handler, advancing the ball up the floor, and force St. Vincent to start their offense with 13 seconds on the shot clock versus, say, 19 to 21. You throw everything out of whack and give them less creativity.
Swartout called for the legal screen because basically he said it, but before the defender was into him or before he was set, he swung out kind of on a pick and roll and moved into the defender. 1 second left, Knock for a desperation shot. Misses it, and we're going to end the half here at 39-33. St. Vincent the lead, not their biggest, but certainly nice. Coach, I should say Pat Coleman will join us here with Coach Harris.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Coach, kind of an inconsistent first half, kind of, interesting pace of play. What are you guys going for? What's your aim here?
We're trying to just keep them off that baseline. I mean, they've been killing us inside, and we haven't been doing a real good job of getting stops. But when we come out in the second half, we're going to make a few adjustments, maybe play a little bit more high in our zone to slow them down a little bit. But all in all, I'm happy with how we played.
What did you see out of Ramapo last night? I assume you guys scouted him.
That they want to shoot a lot of inside shots, and they've shot it better tonight than we scouted. We've seen them on film about 3 or 4 times, so they're athletic and a lot more athletic than us. But it's going to be a great second half.
Coach, congratulations. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys, Dave.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Coach Harris. And again, it's scored halftime here. St. Vincent the lead, 39-33. We'll double check how many lead changes there were in that first half. Again, St. Vincent out on an 8-0 lead. Then Ramapo with a 12-3 run got back in it. We had a number of lead changes, but St. Vincent at least has a 6-point lead here at halftime. Justin and I are going to take a break. Remember, 6 games here. We're going to need a break. It's all 4 of us.
Maybe a power nap?
Maybe a power nap. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll have halftime stats and more and get you ready for the second half. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic from South Point Arena in Las Vegas at St. Vincent 39, Ramapo 33. Game 4 of 6 today, game 9 of 16 overall. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back to halftime, folks, here at the South Point Arena as we get ready for the second half of our game between Ramapo and St. Vincent. St. Vincent has the lead. I'm going to let Justin do the dirty work here and give you the halftime stats.
Let's dig deep into that dirt. Leading the way for St. Vincent off the bench is Bobby Swartout, the big man, who's displayed some propensity for scoring both inside and out. He knocked down his only three-point shot of that half. He leads the way, all scores, with 11 points and 4 rebounds. Frank Knock leads the Ramapo side with 9 points. Three other players make it. Each have 6 points, those being the starters Christopher Mosley, Thomas Bodicum trying to follow up his 23-point performance yesterday in the 90-76 victory against Skidmore, and the guard Josh Ford in the starting role, also with 6. Not a whole lot of production off the bench for either team. Nick Stanek, the only Ramapo reserve to score with 2 points on the St. Vincent side. Ben Klimchuk tallied 4 points in that first, and Matt D'Amico also had a point in that one. So as we continue here, some of the points in the paint, Ramapo outscoring St. Vincent 16-12. St. Vincent with 8 points off of turnovers versus 2 by Ramapo. A lot of running and gunning in that first half, particularly Ramapo, who we saw try to push the pace. It hasn't necessarily translated to the points where Ramapo has 4 fast break points versus none on the St. Vincent side. So about a minute to go before tip-off here, or the inbounding, I should say, to begin the second half. St. Vincent leading Ramapo 39-33. Each team had 6 turnovers apiece in that first half. St. Vincent slimly winning the rebounding battle, out-rebounding the Roadrunners 22-18. In the first half, it was Ramapo who shot 38% from the field, 13 for 34. They've had a few more attempts from the floor versus St. Vincent shooting an efficient 14 for 29, good for 48%.
Not many people in foul trouble. 2 fouls each for Austin Dietert and Bobby Swartout for St. Vincent, 1 for Ben Klimchuk. For Ramapo, it is 2 fouls for Christopher Mosley, 2 for Josh Ford, and 2 for David Hay. 1 foul each for Knock, Bodicum, Long, and Beerbrun. Got to check those off my list, make sure we've got them going here as well. Foul trouble has been a factor in some of these games, and that's why we're keeping track of it. Getting ready to start the second half. Bearcats are in their home whites with, as we mentioned, green numbers and gold trim. It'll start off for them pretty much their starting lineup. Austin Ford, J.C. Howard, Austin Dietert, Pat Jones, and Jalen Bell. And for the Ramapo Roadrunners, they're in their black road jerseys. They'll start with the ball. James Long, Frank Knock, Josh Ford, Mosley, and Bodicum, their starting 5. And Bodicum hits the opening jumper to start the second half, and we're underway. Ramapo cuts down to the deficit, 39-35. I'm Dave McHugh, joined alongside Justin Sweeney for D3Hoops.com, the 6th annual D3Hoops.com Classic here from South Point Arena in South Point, or I should say in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are in game number 4 of 6 today. We are on game number 9 of 16 overall. We got 4 more tomorrow if we all survive. The first game of 3 on the men's side here today. Long 3 at the buzzer by Bell is no good. Bell nearly gets a steal from Long. Up ahead, Ford tries to feed Bodicum, a little too late. Bell's got the ball in the break, got numbers, and Long's going to pick up the foul. It'll be his second.
Well, there is that thing called the Euro step. That was more like the the trans double continental step there, and he's fortunate he drew a foul in the end. He really traversed a long swath of region.
Bell with a 3, misses it, gets his own rebound, then tries to go around the defender to get to Dietert with the pass, and it just wasn't where Dietert was. And they turn the ball over, and Ramapo will now have possession, and a little bit of a token man-to-man full-court press here from the Bearcats. Bodicum with the ball, will pass the elbow, misses the shot. Bell picks up the rebound.
Well, Bodicum's had some moments in this game, but he hasn't exploded in the way he did yesterday against Skidmore. Will be interesting over these final 19 minutes or so to see how much more he can contribute to the Ramapo operation.
Into the corner, Ford with the ball. Correction, that was Ford. Ford with it, steps out of bounds, and that will turn the ball over back to the Ramapo Roadrunners. 18:28 left to go in the second half. Quickly up ahead to Mosley, who goes after Dieter. Misses a shot, caught every bit of the rim. Mosley goes back up. This time he's fouled from behind. Most likely this is going against Austin Ford.
And Mosley's starting to get going, too. Most of his buckets came towards the tail end of that first half. He was one of those three players that met halftime with 6 points apiece, the others being Josh Ford, the guard, and Thomas Bunnacum, who is struck first in this second half.
Austin Ford picks up his first foul. Mosley, in the meantime, misses his first free throw. So Mosley will get his second look at it. 71% free throw shooter. 39th in the country in blocks per game at 2 per coming into the weekend. And he hits the second free throw. Cuts the deficit for Ramapo to within 3. Bell with the ball. Ramapo in a 1-2-2 zone. Get to the far side to Ford. Ford crosses the timeline, gets it back to Bell. Bell will now set up the offense with less than 20 on the shot clock. Man-to-man defense from the Roadrunners. A little bit of a swarming, trapping defense as well. As knock popped out that time on Bell. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Howard trying to shake his defender Long. Gets to within 10 feet, puts up the shot on the baseline, no good. Dieter fights for the rebound and hauls it in. Back outside to Howard. Howard will drive in, puts it up, and lays it in, and it extends St. Vincent lead back to 5. Quickly up ahead, Mosley with the ball. Backs out to Long. Long over to Knock. Nice shutdown defense from the Bearcats, who are into a 2-3 zone. 17 and a half minutes left to go in the second half. 15 on the shot clock. Long's got the ball. Back at the top of the key. They feed Mosley on the baseline. Drives, puts up the shot, misses yet another one inside for Mosley. Ball goes out of bounds. Remain Ramapo possession with a fresh shot clock. Hope you're enjoying this as it is well into the evening on the East Coast for these two East Coast teams. They're going to call, you can probably hear it, Austin Ford. That'll be his second foul for holding on the inbounds play. Now they will keep the inbounds at the same position.
Looked like a little bit of Ford-on-Ford crime there as he was mixed up with Josh Ford trying to emerge from the fray. Long, took a slight licking there, if you will.
Long receives the inbounds. Bounce it to Bunnacum, back to Long, he's thinking about the shot. You can see it. Just hasn't been able to get the look. Nice feed to Bunnacum, who goes up strong for the basket.
The closeouts by the perimeter defense of St. Vincent has been good, but then that immediately translated to the breakdown inside as Bunnacum, as you saw, broke away free down low.
Roadrunners clawed to within 3. Bell and the Bearcats use quite a bit of the clock to break the press. Calmly, less than 15 though on the shot clock. Dieter's got the ball, tries to feed Bell inside. 7 on the shot clock. Bell trying to face up Mosley. 4 on the shot clock. Kicks out to Howard. Howard long 2 on the way. Nothing but air. Ramapo got the ball before the shot clock expired. Knock drives in, goes up off glass. No good. Dieter calls in the rebound. Bell's bringing it the other direction. We got 4 subs ready to come in for the Bearcats. Skip pass near side. Howard for 3. No good. Dieter hauls in the rebound. And Long pops it free. Here come the Roadrunners. It tries to feed Ford and just a little too far in front of him.
Ramapo continuing to rely on that athleticism that interviewed at the half. Coach Harris was talking about, obviously they're going to be more athletic than our team, but will make up for that deficiency in other ways, and they come through on that play with the unforced error against Ramapo.
For Ramapo, first time we're seeing Pascale Dorelis enter the game. As for the Bearcats, they bring in Swartout, Klimchuk. Who's that with the ball? Oh, that's Howard. He's the only one who stayed out there from the starting lineup. D'Amico's into the game as well as Sinwell. Those are the 4 guys that came into the game. And Ramapo slides into a 2-3 zone here with a little bit of a smaller look. Bunnacum's their biggest guy out there along with Mosley. 3-pointer from Howard on the way and is good. St. Vincent now leads 44-38.
Howard may be cultivating a little bit of momentum. That's a second 3-pointer of the game. One of 2 players on St. Vincent's tonight with multiple 3-pointers made alongside Pat Jones, who ignited that 8-0 start.
Far side, swinging all the way to Mosley. Mosley will feed Knock on the baseline. Knock back to Mosley. Mosley along the baseline. Kick out. 3 on the way from Ford. No good. And Swartout hauls in the rebound. Got 2 more men's basketball games, and Pac Lou has entered the building to get ready for theirs. Their opponent already here. Who their opponent, UW Stout, one of 3 teams we still haven't seen today or in this tournament. 3 of those 4 coming up are those teams we haven't seen. Whitworth, Calvin, and Stout.
Should be a whole new grand unveiling of new bodies and faces in these next 4 hours.
Swartout with a nice spin move in the basket, but the ref said you couldn't do that without traveling, so we're going to take the points off the board and give the ball to Ramapo. Less than 15 to play here in the second half. Ramapo trying to get back into this, down 6. I mean, they're in it, but they'd like to be a little closer in the lead. Mosley with the ball, and he's going to get cut off by, is that Sinwell? No, that is, yeah, it's Sinwell.
Meanwhile, Bell's going to give.
Sinwell's first, by the way. Team starts, so no shooting situation. But Mosley on the inbounds attacks Swartout and gets the 2 points, so it's down to a 4-point deficit for Ramapo. 44-40, St. Vincent the lead. St. Vincent in their home whites going right to left across your computer monitor, facing that 1-2-2 zone from Ramapo, and nice effort there by Klimchuk, who was saving the ball from going out of bounds. Bonnicum was right on top of him, able to spin around, bounce the ball off of Bonnicum's leg to keep it Bearcat possession.
And the question is for St. Vincent, unveiling all of these reserves, who's going to step up for him? Klimchuk really the only notable contributor points-wise off the bench with 4 points.
Bell thought about the 3, changed his mind. Well, drive in, kick out, 3 on the way now, and that one is good for Mr. Dan Sinwell.
That's his first points of the game.
47-40 the lead now for the Bearcats. Bonnicum quickly tries to respond, misses a shot, easy rebound for D'Amico, and Bell will take his time coming up the court. It's clearly St. Vincent wants to get this into their own pace and slow things down quite a bit.
Kind of reminiscent of that PLU game yesterday where the tempo was so lightning fast, and then Steve Dickerson said, hey guys, slow things way down here, time to eat shot clock.
Klimchuk goes for the NBA 3, misses it. Swartout goes for the shot, gets his pocket pick. The ball goes out of bounds while trying to save it from going out of bounds, so it will stay Bearcat possession, 13:35 left in a brand new shot clock. Inbounding the ball will be D'Amico. He gets it to Swartout. And any of you Ramapo fans who are Eagles fans who haven't heard the news yet, head coach gone for the Philadelphia Eagles, Chip Kelly. Of course, he's from Oregon, Mr. Oregon
Not
sitting
anymore.
next to me.
I think he originally hails from the New Hampshire region, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Foul on Ramapo's Thomas Bonnicum. That is his second. Team second, and they'll send Klimchuk to the line here to shoot the free throws, and he hits the first one. St. Vincent matches its biggest lead of the game, 48-40. Last time they led that big, it was 8-0 to start the game. They eventually allowed Ramapo on a 12-3 run. Klimchuk cannot make it a bigger lead as Bonnicum hauls in the rebound. Ramapo could use a 12-3 run right now. Mosley moves up, and you could hear a coach or somebody claim that was a foul. The referee agreed this time.
Great heads-up play by Mosley. The Bearcats wanting to slow down the tempo, but Mosley refusing to oblige, essentially penetrated as soon as he got the ball. The only Roadrunner in the front court, and you took it right to the rack against 2 or 3 defenders.
Foul on Swartout. That is his third. We'll keep an eye on that. Mosley hits the free throw to cut the deficit to within 7. One more for Mosley coming as a hush falls over the crowd. That one rattles in as well, so it's down to a 6-point deficit for the Roadrunners, who employ that full court. Well, this time a little more of a man-to-man token press. Bell being harassed by Ford. Bell, correction, that was Klimchuk into the corner for a 3 by Sinwell, which was missed. Now a whistle. I have a ref in front of me, so I have no idea what just happened. And I guess it was a jump ball scenario, and that will belong to the Bearcats with a fresh new shot clock. Literally, I looked up and went, aha. The trials and errors of calling a game at courtside.
More Swartout.
Nicely done by Swartout. Extends the lead back to 8, 50-42. Coach McBreen yesterday said when they got ready to play Skidmore that they were in over their heads with that game. They went on to win by 15. I went up to him today. He said, we're in over our heads with this game against the Bearcats. I said, I've heard that before. They're staying in it right now. Mosley with the pass to Ford. Ford coughs it up on the drive. Probably gave up on what is a far easier shot at 10 feet. And now Bell will bring the ball up the court. Hay getting ready to check in along with Sones. Hay, a much quieter game than he had yesterday as Mosley hauls in the rebound and hands it off to Dorlis, who's going to come up the court. Bonicum, the shot off glass, and it's good. Ramapo down 6 now. Of course, for Coach McBreen, he's got all these new players plus the guys he had in the first semester, trying to figure out what works and what isn't working for him before they get into conference play. We should mention that Jermaine Pert, not in the game. He got an elbow yesterday that opened up a gash above his eye as Swartout misses the jumper and Mosley hauls in the rebound. Had to go to the hospital. Coach says he thinks it was about 4 or 5 stitches. Doc said he could play if you needed him. Coach said, why would I bother?
I have 37 other guys on my roster to fill the void.
That, and I got, not a game until the 6th, so I might as well let the guy rest and let that heal. As a three-pointer from Mosley is good, and just like that, the deficit's down to 3.
No, but I think that's a good decision by Coach McBreen. Play it on the safe side. Again, it's still so early in the season, even though you're trying to intermingle all these new players with the old mainstays from the first semester and see what happens.
Ford picks up his 3rd foul. Wholesale changes from Ramapo, all but one guy coming off. We'll double check it here. The only one who stayed on the floor was Dalius. Hayes out there now with Sones, along with Stanek and Bearbrun.
Meanwhile, on the top level away from the action, it looks like UW Stout in preparation for their 6 p.m. tip-off is going on a little bit of a mile run here.
Yeah, they're doing some laps around the building. Bearbrun comes into the game, picks up the foul.
Whatever it takes to get warm, I guess. It's interesting, I noticed when you walk in here on the northeast side of the building, it's really hot up there on the 2nd floor.
It's the southeast side, my friend.
Southeast.
It
Gotta
is
bring my
warm up
GPS
there.
next time.
It is warm up there. You're right. It's a little bit cooler down here.
A little cooler on the ground floor.
Bell has the ball, being guarded by Dorlis. Harassed, I should say. Nice feed to the open Austin Ford on the backside, and it's a 5-point lead for St. Vincent here as we hit the 10:40 point of the second half. Feed inside, kick outside. Trying to play the inside-outside game against this zone are the Roadrunners, but they're struggling to get open shots. Bearcats doing a very nice job on defense. Long jumper on the way, no good. Rebound collected by Howard.
St. Vincent has to be thrilled with that shot selection. They forced Ramapo into taking.
Still got 2 more games coming up. Pacific Lutheran versus Wisconsin Stout, scheduled for a 6 o'clock Pacific start time, 9 o'clock Eastern. As Howard drives the lane, good no call, I think. Hits the basket, leads back up to 7.
Really like the no call there. Howard had already begun his ascent.
Going on here? Coach McBreen all the way across mid-court. I think a little confusion there. There was a timeout needed to be called. Coach can call it in a dead ball scenario. I think the ref saw D.P. Harris calling it but didn't want to give it to him because the coach can't call it in the course of play, but a made basket is considered dead ball. In the meantime, the player, seeing his coach calling timeout, steps over the line, kind of giving the ball to the referee. There's no whistle. There's no stop and play. So McBreen thinks that's a turnover. That's my ball. And the ref very calmly, and I want to emphasize the words, very calmly goes, no, it's a timeout. A little weird.
Nevada kind of feels like, with no D3 teams, everybody here, for just a glimpse of time, if you will, kind of feels like the wild, wild west a little bit with the liberal application at times of rules and sometimes the more strict adaptation.
I think that's just a case of remembering when a coach can call timeout and when a coach can't call timeout. And a made basket, believe it or not, even on a running clock, is considered a dead ball situation. It's a little weird.
Which, to me, I don't have the highest IQ in the world, but still sounds a tad bit counterintuitive.
It does sound counterintuitive to me. I thought the same thing, especially considering I think one of the hardest times for a coach to get a timeout is in the last second scenario when the ball's gone through the hoop and the refs are not necessarily looking at a ref. Nonetheless, the Bearcats got that timeout. Both teams have 4 timeouts remaining. Both teams have 4 fouls called on them so far in the first half of this half. We have 9:57 left to go in the game. St. Vincent leads 54-47. He's Justin Sweeney. I'm Dave McHugh. This is the 6th annual D3Hoops.com Classic from South Point Arena in Las Vegas. This is game 4 of 6 today. 9 of 16. If you've heard me say that before, it's because I've got it memorized. 9:45 left to go. Hay with the ball. More of a 2-3 or a 3-2 zone maybe. They got Bell kind of hovering in the middle there for the Bearcats now. Hay outside. Dumps it inside. Nice feed and a miss by Stanek, but then fouled on the second attempt. This is on...
and it looks like the purpose, sorry to interrupt you there, it looks like the purpose of this 3-2 zone is specifically designed to force more of those long twos by Ramapo. The downside is if you penetrate and do force the breakdown, then you get a great look inside. And that's what Stanek currently finds himself, current situation he's in.
Stanek hits a free throw. By the way, the foul was on Ford, Austin Ford. That was his third. Coming into the game, I think that was Dietert. And is Dietert checked in for the Bearcats as Stanek hits the second free throw, cuts the deficit to 5. Howard has the ball, full court man-to-man defense, long on Howard. Howard gets it across the timeline easily and over to Bell on the far side being guarded by Hay. Hay's going to use a forward screen. Now he's double teamed, in trouble, got away with a little bit of a hook. Bell charges in and a good offensive foul call there, as Sones, I should say, was pretty well camped out in the paint.
That's a tough possession for Bell. The beginning of it looked like he drew in a couple of bumps, kept with it. He was nearing in on the course of being prone to too much over dribbling. We saw a nice play in the first half towards the end where he showed the great escapability for the dump off at the end. That time probably too much time spent with the basketball, leading to little overall purpose.
Bell picks up his first foul, team 6. Meantime, Sones drives in, off glass, no good. Ramapo seemingly a little lost on offense right now. 8:45 left to go. They need to find themselves, and hey, it'd be nice if he found himself as well. We have a foul away from the basket. I believe this is going to go on Stanek, and I believe that will be Stanek's first.
It's only a 5-point lead right now for St. Vincent, but it feels with 8:43 to go in this regulation, a very critical time for Ramapo. They're starting to go a little bit dry offensively, and we see Coach McBreen trying to shuttle in and out different players, trying to find something that works for this final stretch run.
Ball inbounded to Austin Ford, swings it around to Bell on the near wing. Bell will break past Hay. Outside to Howard, goes for 3, misses it off the side iron. Knock, it was a bit of the fire for Ramapo, picks up the rebound and quickly it comes up court, loses the ball out of bounds, but I believe it went off a Bearcat on the way out, and it did. So it'll be Ramapo possession with 25 seconds on the shot clock.
But that's what you want to see if you're a Ramapo Roadrunner fan. Most of the excitement, the urgency in this game has come when the ball is in the hands of Frank Knock, much like it was yesterday. When the ball is in his hands, it's more likely than not that something good is going to happen for the Roadrunners.
Ben Klimchuk checks into the game, replacing Jalen Bell. Kick outside. Sones doesn't want to take the 3. Spin move in the lane, goes off glass, does not fall, but Bonacum there, gets it to tip in, and it's down to a 3-point deficit. Ramapo's gotten to this point a few times and can't get over this hump. Austin Ford with the ball being guarded by Knock, far side to Klimchuk, all the way into the corner to Jones. Jones up on the double team, misses it, fouls up his rebound, and gets it to fall. It's a 56-51 lead. But here come the Roadrunners the other way. Long back to Knock, over to Hay, and back up top to Long. Hay skipped past to Long. Really is looking to shoot, but decides not to. Knock tries to go to Bonacum. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to go, they're going to say, off of a Ramapo player and be Bearcat possession. Bonacum can't believe the call, but none of the other officials are disagreeing with it.
I don't know if any of the 3 officials are 100% clear about who touched that ball last.
I'd probably agree with that.
If in doubt, I might have been compelled to say the last touch was by Ramapo, but even I don't feel very confident making that determination.
There wasn't a really strong argument from anybody on anything. Belongs to Bearcats nonetheless. They lead by 5 with 7:32 left to go. And a traveling violation called on Jones.
Interesting.
I can only guess that maybe he shuffled his feet when he received the ball. Quickly up ahead. Ramapo wasting no time. Mosley trying to break it off on the dribble. Kicks it outside. 3-pointer on the way from Ford. No good. Knock cannot come down with a rebound, but then picks Jones's pocket. But the ball will remain Bearcat possession. 28 seconds on the shot clock, 8 seconds to get across the timeline, as Jalen Bell will now get ready to come into the game along with Dan Sinwell. And they will replace Austin Dietert and Austin Ford.
After Josh Ford hunched and missed long on that three-point try, it continues a pattern in the second half of Ramapo not shooting crisply from the three-point line. They're just now 1 for 4 in this second half after opening up 4 for 8 from the three-point line in the first 20 minutes.
Jones has it far side. Now in the hands of Bell, decides to drive the lane, and
Wow.
Mosley just says enough.
That was spectacular.
Please get that out of my way. Up ahead, the long blocking foul. Probably the right call.
I like it.
Klimchak didn't look like he was in position.
He wasn't in position. He was too deep, and I think Long had it in his mind, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the foul wasn't on him, but he had begun the motion at least of driving and attacking and rising to the cup.
Klimchak also seemed like he was already kind of leaning back on the play as well. So Long will go to the line here to shoot 2. He is like I said, he had not had many free throws coming into the weekend, and today he hits that one.
Well, St. Vincent keeps trying to stretch this thing out and looking for that comfort zone of a 2 to 3 possession lead, and Ramapo just will not back off. And this has become a very good game, and the clock keeps ticking. We may have a one-possession game with 2 minutes to go.
2 for 3, 3 for 4 now from the free throw line, and Ramapo down to that magical 3-point deficit mark.
But if you're talking about the pace and tempo of the second half, it's mostly St. Vincent. Ramapo has found its slight chances, but as we see right now, St. Vincent very content to just pass the ball around and see what might happen later on.
Just look down the table. Gordon Mann, I think, ordered his salad and got the entire garden.
I need some green in my life. I am quite jealous.
Long three-pointer from Howard is good. Just as Ramapo gets it to 3, St. Vincent answers. It's back up to a 6-point lead. Long drives in, finds nothing there, hands it off to Knock.
And this is the man you want the ball to be in the hands of.
And a foul from behind is going to be on Bell.
Just like that, he gets the pass. 2 seconds later, draws another foul as Ramapo inches closer to that double bonus.
Coach McBreen not very happy. That's his Bell's second foul.
I think that's his normal
1-1.
disposition, at least this weekend.
At least on the court. 1-on-1 coming here for Knock, who is a team best 78% free throw shooter and hits the first.
I'm just thrilled someone finally supplied him with a bottle of water.
You do feel
Got to
bad
lubricate
for
that voice box.
Chuck McBreen, one of our favorites. 6:15 left to go here. His team trails by 5, make it 4 as Knock hits both free throws.
By the way, side note, all these coaches we've interacted with this weekend have just been absolutely gracious with their time, very engaging, whether it's the halftime interviews, all of the great content and interviews we're funneling over to d3hoops.com. We've been able to get in contact with at least one representative from each team, be it a coach or player. And just a big thanks not only to Coach McBreen, but the rest of the gang representing each of these very competitive teams that have given us a slew of great games in the first 3 days and counting of this tournament.
How about the last few seconds from Klimchak, by the way? A long 2 gets up to a 6-point lead, misses that shot, but he was able to break up the attempt by Ford on the other end for Ramapo.
And look at St. Vincent. They get the offensive rebound, and they're just shuttling the ball between the circles. Looking at that clock, waiting for time to tick some more.
Kick out. Shot on the way from Bell. No good. Ramapo's got the ball with Mosley in an unsettled situation. He's going to attack the rim all the way up and lays it in.
You just know when Mosley gets the ball in his hands, as soon as he crosses the midcourt line, you know exactly where he's going to go. Accelerate to the hoop in as few steps as possible.
Hope you don't mind with 5:21 left and a 4-point lead and a full timeout. We're going to take that break. St. Vincent leads Ramapo 61-57. We'll be back with more second half action shortly. (61-57), St. Vincent in the lead with 5:20 left to go here in the second half. I'm Dave McHugh, joined alongside Justin Sweeney for D3Hoops.com. We're in the games number 4 of 6 today, 6 of 9. Hold on.
9 of 16
overall. I almost added some games.
Please don't.
No.
Maybe next year, though.
Ramapo has 3 timeouts left and has only committed 5 fouls, whereas St. Vincent has 4 timeouts left but has committed 8 fouls so far in this one. Ramapo trying to get back to less than 3, to be honest. They keep clawing to that point. They trail currently by 4. As St. Vincent has the ball, Long's coming over to try and make Bell's day a little bit more difficult. Bell's able to find Austin Ford. Austin Ford goes for the shot. It's partially blocked. Foul's going to be on Mosley or Bonnicum.
Interesting new strategy that Chuck McBreen decided to employ against the point guard in Jalen Bell, making that journey long right from midcourt. Jalen Bell, a tough night from the field, just 1 for 10, 0 for 4 from deep. But he does have 6 assists, so he's still remaining a common threat no matter how you hack it.
I don't know who the foul was on and missed it in the announcement, but either case, it was going to be a third on either Bonnicum or Mosley. Free throw up, no good. Missed both free throws. Quickly up ahead, Mosley turned his head before he got the ball, and it falls into Austin Ford's hand. Turnover, back to the Bearcats. Ford with the ball. Knock guarding him. Comes around the Ford pick. Ford gets the rebound, but coughs it up. Bonnicum has it up ahead to Hay. Hay's going to try and race Howard down the court. Does! Hits the basket, going to the line for the opportunity for a 3-point play.
That was a good thought by, where was he? J.C. Howard. Good thought by J.C. Howard, but the execution not crisp enough. Could not rip through on that foul attempt he wanted to give out. And here goes Hay to the line.
Hay to try and make this a 1-point deficit. Ramapo's gotten past that magical 3-point deficit line. Hits it, and is a 61-60 ball game. Ramapo's just made it interesting with 4:40 left.
And how does the tempo change here? St. Vincent, do they still want to slow things down, or do they want to work with more increased urgency on the offensive side?
Jones with the ball, and he bought that foul rather nicely. Is that
Someone's
little
been
head?
watching some Houston Rockets games.
I was going to ask you if he was doing the old NBA head jerk move. That's what Jones looked like he did.
My main man, Gordon Hayward's been the latest culprit accused of such misdeeds.
Mosley picks up his 4th foul. McBreen can't believe it. Listen, there's 2 rules of thought there. Technically, Mosley was looking like he was probably cutting him off. But I don't think the call comes if Jones doesn't make some kind of indication to it.
And that's where things get very tricky, because on one end you're accused of selling a foul. Well, if there was a modicum of contact and it's not going to be called, then what's the use in embellishing it?
Yeah, I know. You're perfect way of saying it. As Jones hits both free throws on the 1-and-1, and it's up to a 63-60 lead. 4:24 left. Long up to Hay. Hay's going to attack. I'm going to have to get my friend Chris Pisotski to kind of break down what that defense is for me. Bonnicum with a reverse underneath, and it's back down to a 1-point deficit. It's like a 3-2 with a sagging guy in the middle, but it's not like a 2-1-2. But Chris Pisotski, the
we'll have to evaluate the tape later on
zone
after this game.
defense genius that he is. 3:55 left. Hay harassing Bell. He gets it up ahead to Howard. Now Howard's got a double team way out at the baseline. Bell now out here at midcourt, having some trouble. Somehow feeds it to Stalwart, who's fouled. And I think that's going to be Mosley's 5th. I got to listen to the announcer because I might have Mosley for 1 extra in the ad. No, they're not even calling on Mosley. What?
The confusion abounds
he
here
wasn't
at
in the
South Point.
game. Thought he just said 10.
Or did they say Bonnicum?
No, they said Long. Long wasn't even in the play. That's Long's 3rd. I kid you not. Well, maybe Long was there and I didn't see him. Free throw no good from Swartout. I think Mosley missed it. We'll check live stats. I think Mosley has 4, but I could be wrong. He might have 3. Quickly up ahead. Hay misses a shot. Foul called. Bearcats can't believe it. And the foul's going to be called on Howard.
The last foul officially being charged against James Long.
Howard's first, by the way. How many total does Mosley have, sir? If you don't mind checking that for me.
Absolutely. Feels like I'm already starting my new job.
Hay hits the first free throw. Tie ball game at 63 with 3:34 left.
4 official fouls on Mosley.
So he does have 4. So that was a risky move by Mosley on Swartout down there. When Swartout was going up for the shot. Mosley got all over him, but luckily he didn't get the foul called on him. Mosley fouled out of the last game. Ramapo has a lead, oh, by the way, 64-63 with 3:30 left to go.
And it's important Mosley stays on this floor because he's been
Absolutely.
one of the main sources of offensive attack over the last 10 minutes for the Roadrunners.
But you got to wonder if he knows he's got 4 fouls.
Well, hopefully one of his coaches yelled in his ear and made him aware.
Uh-oh, he was in near that one. It might go on Hay. Watch the signal.
Hay's the
It's
only
on Hay.
source of salvation right now.
It was on Hay. Hay's first.
Third.
Correction, you're right. Thank you.
Should be third now.
It is his third. Thank you, sir. 3:15 left. St. Vincent down 1 now. Ford going, I'm sorry, that is Jones going to the line to shoot. He hits the first one to tie the ball game. Checking into the game now for the Bearcats, it is Dan Sinwell, the 6'2 senior guard from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. He'll give Austin Dieter to break. Second free throw up, and St. Vincent retakes the lead. Timeout called by the Bearcats. D.P. Harris wants his team to sit down. They have 3 more timeouts after this. We'll take a break with them. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic. St. Vincent leads Ramapo 65-64. More second half action after this. As we come out of the timeout, 3:15 left. St. Vincent leads 65-64. Ramapo, though, with possession. They will inbound it under the Bearcats' basket. Bearcats already showing their 1-2-1-1 full court press. It is Knock, Hay, Long, Mosley playing with 4 fouls, and Bonnicum out there for the Roadrunners. Up ahead to Hay. Hay attacks the rim. Mosley gets the rebound, puts up the shot, and gets it to fall. Mosley was actually calling for the alley-oop.
I was expecting Hay to dump that off to Mosley and was a little surprised he took it himself, but maybe it was a concerted effort by David Hay to engage in a 2-man Moses Malone operation. Even if Hay wasn't going to connect on that shot, Mosley was going to be right there on the other side unabated for the putback on the offensive rebound.
Ramapo retakes the lead 66-65. Clearly Mosley has been told he's got 4 fouls as he was very careful there on the swarming defense, but a foul away or on the ball, but away from the basket is going to go on Hay. That's his 4th. So now they got some foul trouble here. Not that they're not deep, but the guys who've been giving them the spark, Hay and Mosley, are both out there with 4 fouls now with 2:42 left. In the meantime, Bell will go to the line here. He's a 61% free throw shooter, and he's got a 2-shot scenario here and misses the first.
Huge miss for St. Vincent.
Long will check out, and checking back in, Josh Ford.
And they have not shot well from the free throw line tonight. They're now 11 for 24.
Oof. They are normally a 66% free throw shooting team as Bell hits the second one to tie it up at 66 as Dieter and Swartout come back into the game, and Howard and Sinwell will take a seat. This is a good battle now with 2:40 left. Tie ball game, 66 apiece. Outside to Ford. Ford using Bonnicum as a pick. Gets it over to Mosley. Back to Ford. 15 on the shot clock. Back to Mosley. 2-3 zone from the Bearcats. 10 seconds on the shot clock. It's in the hands of Hay. Feeds Bonnicum into Knock in the corner. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Bonnicum up top to Hay. Forces a 3. Barely missed it.
That's
rimmed
a tough
out.
shot.
Hay gets it off the tip from Knock. Drives a lane. Hits the basket. He's going to the line.
Well, David Hay, he seemingly came to Ramapo out of the heavens, out of nowhere just a few days ago and making plays down the stretch. First takes with the shot clock winding down a very tough 3-point shot straight away that nearly went down anyways. He stuck with the play on the offensive rebound and took an amazing trip to the rack from the right side.
completes the three-point play to give Ramapo the three-point lead. In the meantime, Austin Ford picks up his 4th foul.
This game has completely shifted over the last 4 minutes or so.
Amazingly, Bell now with the ball being guarded by Ford. Crosses Ford up, drives in. Got to be careful, Mosley. Misses the shot anyway, did Bell. Quickly up ahead, here comes Ramapo. Hay will feed. Mosley misses the layup.
Wasn't a great lob there.
No.
A little tough out of place for Mosley. May have wanted to put it higher rather than wider.
Up ahead to Bell. Bell shot, no good. Dietert, the rebound, power dribble, puts it up, gets it to fall. He's going to the line. I think Mosley. Is it Mosley? It is. Will foul out of the game.
What a bailout for St. Vincent. Austin Dietert on the putback after a nightmare night from the field continues for Jalen Bell. 1 for 12 after that drive, but his big man stayed home and got it done, and just like that. And now you look at St. Vincent, who's shooting 48% at the foul line. They've missed more than they've hit tonight, and they have a huge free throw coming up to tie this game, potentially at 69.
Mosley misses the alley-oop layup. He now fouls out of the game for the second night in a row, and Coach
That's a double whammy for Ramapo.
Yeah, Coach McBreen in the meantime uses his full 15 seconds as a free timeout. We'll get Long back into the game. Of course, that used to be 20 seconds to get a player in. I just wish they'd get rid of the darn thing in general. 93 seconds left. Ramapo leads by 1, but Dietert has a chance to tie it here on the and one. He's the best free throw shooter on the team at 86%, but they are struggling from the line tonight as a team as Stout and Pacific Lutheran gather to watch the finish of this one. Hits it, ties the game at 69, and Coach Harris wants to talk it over. He's got 3 timeouts to use, and he uses one here. 30-second timeout as a result as well. Whoo, boy. Hope you're enjoying the basketball. We've had some good games here today and throughout the tournament as well. Of course, last game I called that involved St. Vincent was 2 games ago. Played Carthage.
That one was overtime. I was about to suggest, do we have a I just completely lost my train of thought, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's because Mr. Larry dropped us a note. That's just a quote from a coach. It's just priceless that we cannot
I don't
repeat.
think that's from a Berenstain Bears book.
No, and I don't think we can repeat that on air either. So with 93 seconds left to go in this one, Ramapo comes out of timeout with Knock, Hay, who's playing with 4 fouls, Long, Bonacum, and that is Ford on the far side. Bearcats in the meantime have Bell, Howard, Ford, Austin Ford, who's playing with 4 fouls, Jones, who started the game so well, and Swart out as well.
And this is the man you want to have the ball in his hands with. Frank Knock again. The offense must flow through him.
Quickly, Hay drives, misses the basket. Rebound falls into Bell's hands. 70 seconds left in this one, and it's tied at 69. Kick out to Howard. Howard drives, goes up against Bonaccord, hits the shot. Bonacum hits a shot. 71-69. Ramapo's coming the other direction. They do have 3 timeouts to use if they need them, as we tick under a minute left to go in this one. Long's got the ball, top of the key, over to Ford on the far side. Back to Long, back to Ford. Into the corner, Bonacum. Skip to Long. Long drive. He wants to kick out, can't get a hold of the ball, gets it to Knock. 7 on the shot clock. Elbow shot, no good. Knock tries to get the rebound, falls into Bonacum's hand, misses the layup, fights for the rebound, no good. Swart up comes down with it.
That's just crushing for Ramapo. Bonacum had not 1 but 2 chances at the rack. Couldn't finish either putback.
27.9 seconds on the clock. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Coach D.P. Harris calls one of his 2 remaining timeouts. Clearly frustrated with his team. It's a long one. They will take a seat to look it over. Quickly, other top 25 action. Number 1, Augustana in action, and they survive, defeating Wisconsin Oshkosh 67-65.
Sounds like the kind of game that no one in the building was wearing a jacket for starting at the 19-minute mark of the first half.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah, it's a good call. 27.9 seconds left here. St. Vincent and Ramapo, who've been going back and forth all game. St. Vincent held much of the control in the second half before Ramapo woke back up. But it's Ramapo who's down 2 without the ball, and there is a 3.5, almost 4-second differential between game clock and shot clock, which doesn't necessarily bode well here for Ramapo if St. Vincent hits a shot.
The interesting thing, I don't know if we've seen a double-digit lead by either team in this second half. It's mostly been nothing.
No one's led by double digits, period.
It's mostly been 1 to 2, maybe at rare times 3-possession leads for one of these teams, with St. Vincent having momentum earlier in the second half. But at the same time, it feels like there's been some serious waves and momentum shifts on both sides. When one team's dead in the water, suddenly they arise and they take the lead. So who knows, maybe the team down last in this game is the one that's going to end up being the victor.
So Bearcats will inbound the ball. Howard, Ford, Jones, Swartout, and Bell. Howard has the ball, being harassed by Ramapo Roadrunners. Hey, got the steal, but it doesn't matter. It was a turnover anywhere on a travel. So Ramapo has the ball. Shot clock is off. 21.9 seconds left. Trailing by 2. They have 3 timeouts remaining. It is Long, Knock, Ford, Bonacum, and Hay. Hay's got the ball, 12 seconds left. Now Knock. Knock will drive, puts it off glass, misses it. Bonacum follow, but he's fouled on the play. Missed another layup. The foul will go on Swartout, I believe his 4th. It is his 4th. It will send Bonacum to the line, a 67% free throw shooter. He has to hit both to tie this with 8 seconds left. Hits the first, 71-70. Ramapo has 3 timeouts. I think Coach McBreen's telling him if it's a make, he wants a timeout. Makes the second one. There's the timeout. 71-71. 8 seconds left. Timeout, Ramapo.
Well, it's going to be a last shot situation, you would think, for St. Vincent. If not, second overtime game of this 6-game day. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Stout and PLU, everybody with their arms folded, just inching and licking their chops and getting ready to
warm
stroll
up.
out onto the floor.
Do we go back in and take a seat?
Do we go back to the Garden Buffet and see if this game's going to be over in an hour from now?
Exactly.
Options aplenty. Bowling alley.
That's another good option. 8 seconds left. By the way, St. Vincent, they're not done. This is their second game. They're actually playing 3 here at the tournament. They will play tomorrow. Mary Hardin Baylor was their opponent in the first game. Those are the 2 teams that matched up for their bonus 3rd game. Mary Hardin Baylor with today off. Ken DeWeese and his team will be back in action tomorrow as well. Okay, so 71-71, 8 seconds left. Both teams have committed more than 10 fouls. There's 1 timeout left for St. Vincent. There are 2 timeouts left for Ramapo. St. Vincent has the ball on the far baseline. Need to go 94 feet to try and win this. Coming onto the court, it is Jones, Howard, Sinwell now into the game, Ford and Bell. And for Ramapo, it is Knock, Ford, Hay, Bonacum, and checking in also is Sones now. Howard will inbound it, and he gets it to Jones. Jones across the timeline with 6 seconds. Into the corner, Sinwell up top to Howard. Howard goes for the jumper, buries it with 1.3 seconds left. Ramapo needs to inbound it, and long delay before Coach McBreen finally decides to call timeout. Ice water in the veins, Mr. Howard buries a 17-footer. 1.3 seconds left. This is not women's basketball. They can't move it up to the 28-foot line. This is going to be an interesting final attempt, essentially to win it, unless you have some miracle ability to throw it all the way down court for a layup.
Just a ridiculous shot by J.C. Howard there. Pretty good look. Top of the elbow. He released in time. That one hadn't gone down. Who knows if there would have been any time left, maybe a second, but really a moot point. And Howard looking at a great game, leading St. Vincent on this night, 8 for 14 from the field. He's knocked down 3 triples, 5 boards, 4 assists, and looking to be the hero in Game 2 of this 3-game trip to Las Vegas for St. Vincent.
Coming out of the timeout, St. Vincent has Howard, Jones, Ford, Sinwell, and Bell. Good ball movement by the Bearcats. Set that shot up for Howard to be the hero, but there's 1.3 seconds left. Ramapo can run the baseline. They also have another timeout to go. Coming in to this will be, out of the timeout, I should say, will be Bonacum, Knock, Sones, Ford, and Hay. 1.3 seconds left. What can Ramapo do here? They'll get it into Knock. Knock will go for the Hail Mary. Almost, but not good enough. And St. Vincent escapes with another victory. They are now 2-0 at the D3Hoops.com Classic. They are now 7-2 overall. Ramapo will fall to 7-5 overall after a near miss here in a game that went back and forth. No one led by more than 8 points, I think it was, by either team. Certainly not more than a 2-possession ball game for most of this one. This one will sting for Ramapo, but it's a great win or a great game for them, and it's a good win for St. Vincent, who will play one more tomorrow. Ramapo, unfortunately, will go home having finished 1-1 for the tournament, as Pacific Lutheran comes running out on the floor, despite the fact that guys are trying to clean the floor for them. They want to get to action because we're a little bit behind schedule. We're at 6 o'clock local time when this game was supposed to tip off. Obviously, it won't happen for another 20 minutes. Quickly look at the stats, if you don't mind, Mr. Sweeney.
Shall we start with the individuals or
Go
the teams?
for it. Whatever you'd like to, it's in your hands.
Our player of the game, St. Vincent's J.C. Howard, knocks down the game winner with 1.5 seconds remaining, and a great night all night long, even leading up to the game winner. Game high 19 points, leading score for either side, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 for 5 from three-point range. Pat Jones also ignited the offense early on this night, had some moments after that. Second highest scorer on St. Vincent with 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Bobby Swartout was the other double-digit scorer on the St. Vincent Bearcats side with 13 points, 6 rebounds. Going down the list, Austin Ford, the big man, finishes the night with 8. Ben Klimchuk checks in with 7 off the bench. Jalen Bell, a tough night for the starting point guard, but he did facilitate effectively. 5 points, 6 rebounds, along with 6 assists, doing all he could to keep St. Vincent in this game. Danson will also knock down a long-distance bomb to finish with 3 on the night. Another big night for Thomas Bonnicum following in his 23-point performance last night with another 18 tonight off 7 for 13 shooting. Knocked down all 3 of his free throws, had 7 boards, 5 assists. Christopher Mosley, who fouled out with about a minute and a half left in that game, and you got to think that had some sort of effect on the final moments of this one. One less key offensive option. Finished the day with 18 points, 8 rebounds, along with an assist. Frank Knock, also a big game, 4 for 10 from the field, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Did a little bit of everything. It was a tough shooting night for Josh Ford for Ramapo. 6 points off 2 for 10 shooting with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Lots of good passing we saw by Ramapo, who actually had 5 more assists than did the winning team in St. Vincent. 19 assists for the Roadrunners compared to 14. Ramapo had 3 blocked shots compared to 2 by the Bearcats. Ramapo nearly perfect at the foul line. That also was key in keeping them in this contest all night long. 18 for 21. Meanwhile, on the other end, St. Vincent's poor free throw shooting may have left Ramapo longer in this game than may have been the case. They shot just 13 for 26. The three-point shooting was outstanding for St. Vincent. 8 for 20 versus 5 for 14 for Ramapo. St. Vincent shooting 45% from the field for the game compared to 37% from the floor for the Ramapo Roadrunners. So that will just about wrap up Game 4 of 6, first men's game of the day here in Las Vegas. 2 more on the way, and they are going to be scintillating showdowns, neither of which you will want to miss. Next up on the slate, it will be University of Wisconsin at Stout, taking on the PLU Lutes out of the Tacoma, Washington area.
Thank you, Mr. Justin Sweeney. That is going to wrap it up here. Once again, St. Vincent, the winner, 73-71 over Ramapo. St. Vincent improves to 7-2 overall. 2-0 now in the D3Hoops.com Classic with 1 more to play tomorrow. Ramapo finishes the Classic 1-1 and are now 7-5 on the season. Pat Coleman and Gordon Mann will have to call the next game. It will be UW Stout versus PLU coming up in about 15 or so minutes. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be stopping the stream. We'll be back in about 15.